Hey everyone, it's 10 Types, and Mega Evolution is right around the corner. It's been out in Japan for a little while now, and internationally, pre-releases have already been happening. And at the time of releasing this, we have, I believe, 1 week till it's out on live, and a little more till it's out physically. And yeah, this set is really, really interesting here. I've talked a lot about it on the channel, but somehow I've not actually talked about too much cards that are really good alongside this set. So today I have 10 or so. It's a little more, but then there's some grouped together. But I have a bunch of cards here that I'd really recommend getting before Mega Evolution comes out because they're going to be good. I'll talk about how good each one will be. They're not all insane, and some of them are already pretty good as well. Some cards that I don't have on this in this video are stuff like Gardevoir EX. Also, Teal Mesogorpan EX. These cards are very good in standard right now. So are they getting better with this set? Yeah, maybe. But ultimately, they're not really. They're cards that you probably already have, right? But anyways, let's hop right in here. And the cards are mainly good because of new trainers that are coming out. Not all of them though, but I'll explain them when we get to them. The first card we have here is Volcarona from Black Bolt. Volcarona hasn't really seen, as far as I'm aware, like any play. I've not seen anyone play it. We'll talk about. I guess I'll talk about the other card here as well. Volcanion EX. Volcanion EX kind of outclasses it currently in standard. Volcanion EX sees some play in some decks that use Latias EX for some extra damage. And what these two Pokemon do here is they burn your opponent's active Pokemon. Volcanion EX burns it if it's in the active spot. Then Volcarona here can do it from the bench, but you discard a basic fire from your hand. And it is also stage 1 here. But it is a single prizer, and Volcanion is a basic 2 prizer. And these two cards are both pretty good, in my opinion, for the new Mega Camerupt DX. Mega Camerupt DX here is a card that is a Mega, and what it does is it does 240 damage for only 1 energy if your opponent's active is burned. Burning your opponent's active is like not super easy or super hard. Volcarona and Volcanion EX are doing it decently easily though. Volcanion EX doesn't work super well due to the high cost of retreat of both Mega Camerupt and Volcanion, so that is kind of awkward there. But you could just play some switches in Latias EX to get value out of it as well. I'm not sure which build is better. I do think Volcarona will be better. Mega Camerupt hasn't been performing super well in Japan, but I do believe in the deck. I do think it is like in terms of just raw damage, it's very, very nice here. And you do need one of these two cards to burn your opponent's active. And specifically with Volcarona, as I said, hasn't really seen any play. I imagine it's pretty cheap here. Yeah, so in terms of actually buying it, I don't buy too many cards, but this is definitely a card that I would consider, especially if you are interested in Mega Camera Up. I would expect this card to go up. That's kind of the whole idea here. And same thing, if you're looking at Pokemon TCG Live, it's not like it's going to go up, but it is a card to keep an eye out for. And remember that you will need if you want to play Mega Camera Up. Then we have another fire Pokemon, another stage 1 here, and it is also 1 energy. It is Ceruledge EX here, and it is a Pokemon that in standard is okay, I guess. It doesn't see that much play, but it sees a little bit, and its attack for 1 fire here says Abyssal Flames. It does 30, 20 more for each energy in your discard pile. Currently, Ceruledge is okay, right, as I said. That is not crazy. It's a little difficult to get the energy in the discard, and lacks a really good engine to pair with it. But with a new set, we do see, it's not right here, but it is the new Solrock and Lunatone, specifically the new Lunatone, which lets you discard a fighting energy from your hand to draw 3 cards. And you can do this once per turn. You can't use multiple Lunatone abilities, but it is pretty good here, allowing you to just have a draw engine that's like okay and getting more energy in your discard pile because that's the most important part of the deck and it can kind of struggle. You do have like Squawkabilly EX, but that's just once per game. And then also you do have the new item here, Fighting Gong, which lets you search for a basic fighting Pokemon or basic fighting energy, put it into your hand, which is just going to help out the consistency of the Lunatone Solrock engine. We'll talk a bit more about fighting in just a second here, but Ceruledge EX is making really nice use of it. Also, I think some Ceruledge lists play Fan Rotom. I'm not 100% sure on that, or at least I think they did. Fan Rotom, obviously a very good card here, but let me see. Yeah, so some Ceruledge lists had played it as an attacking option for doing 70 for 1, and the Solvark also does that. So that's pretty cool there. A little situational, I guess, but it's something you have to be playing anyway, and it like slots okay into the deck as well. But there are, as I said, other fighting support cards, and obviously fighting Pokemon in standard that are decent. there aren't amazing fighting Pokemon in Standard. I will say potentially the best fighting deck with the new set is going to be the Mega Lucario EX. Mega Lucario EX is okay. It's not an amazing Pokemon, but as I said, the fighting support is really good. And Mega Lucario here is going to be accelerating energy to other fighting Pokemon. Oh wait, they don't have to be fighting, I don't think, but it's fighting energy, so you can accelerate them to any type, but obviously fighting type are going to be the best because they need fighting energy, like Cornerstone Master Ogre EX, which I'm pretty sure is the best fighting Pokemon in Standard, or maybe Hawlucha is, I guess. But those two cards are like super different. But Cornerstone Master Ogre EX is a pretty solid attacking option because it walls Pokemon with abilities, and its attack here is pretty decent. It's not absurd by any means. Actually, it's kind of bad, but paired with its ability, it like gets the job done here, and then you can accelerate energy to it with Mega Lucario. But importantly, there is the new item Fighting Gong, which I mentioned, searching out basic fighting Pokemon or basic fighting energy, of course, allowing this to be easier to get, especially in a fighting deck. And then you can get the energies, and you can have the very powerful. Well, you can have the engine, the Lunatone Solvark engine. There's Hariyama as well, which works with Mega Lucario EX, and then there is the really powerful Premium Power Pro, an item increasing the damage your fighting Pokemon do by 30 the turn you play it, and it can stack. So, as I said, Corso Master Ogre EX is a pretty underwhelming attacker. I mean, its ability is really good, but its damage is not really good. But with Premium Power Pro, you could be theoretically doing as much as 260 here in one turn. Probably not, right? You're probably not doing that, but you can do a little more, which can be useful to say one shot Squawk Ability EX or something like that. But ultimately, it's just getting a nice little buff here with some fighting stuff. Honestly, this applies to pretty much every fighting Pokemon in the game, and the only other one I want to cover today, though, is going to be Cynthia's Garchomp EX. Cynthia's Garchomp EX is a card that I've been promoting on the channel a lot if you've seen my other videos, and if you haven't, then make sure you subscribe so you don't miss them and you can check them out, and like this video as well so other people see this one. But Cynthia's Garchomp EX here is a Stage 2 fighting Pokemon with 330 HP, which is okay, but with its tool Cynthia's power weight or whatever, it has 400, which is a lot. Also, free retreat, 100 for one fighting, 260 for two. You discard if you use the second attack, but you draw if you do the first one. And yeah, it's like okay stats, kind of meh, just like the Lucario. However, it does have a bunch of support in Standard right now, which is the Gabite, which searches for stuff, the Roserade, which does damage, Cynthia's Spiritomb, which I will say doesn't really get any buffs with the new set, and also Cynthia's power weight here. So ultimately, you have a bunch of support with the Cynthia's package, which is decent, but it's not quite good enough to push it into like a true top deck. It's just all right. But with the new set, as I mentioned, you have the new Fighting Gong. You have to search out your cards. You have, or some of them, not that many, but a few, and it's kind of cool. Then you have Premium Power Pro as well to increase your damage. These are both pretty cool options. You can play really any amount you want. They can be useful. They can be a little situational as well because the Cynthia's Spiritomb and Cynthia's Roserade line, they are not fighting type and they are important to the deck. Also, I will mention, which you might have seen because it shows the unreleased cards, aka the cards that are coming out in Japan. Lily's Determination is just a draw supporter. Nothing really to break down with it here today. It's not really changing the meta too much as far as I'm aware. It's very good. It's going to see a lot of play, but it's not really changing what's good, but I do want to acknowledge that that's just like in pretty much every deck in the game. It's good. But then there's also one more card here, which isn't in this list. I know it's seen some play. Let me look a little older, maybe. Yeah, Forest of Vitality here. This is a stadium that says that each player's grass Pokemon can evolve into grass Pokemon on the turn they are put into play, except each player's first turn. And this is really useful with the Cynthia's Roserade line here. You have the Gabites to get your Cynthia's Pokemon up pretty quickly, but you want to prioritize getting the Gabites, and so you want to go turn 1, probably get down a bunch of Gibbles, then turn 2, get down Gabites, and then you can maybe Rare Candy as well. Into a Garchomp turn 2. However, then you can't get your Roserades into play because you can't evolve them, except you can now with Force of Vitality. I'm allowing you to get set up much easier here and just have, a really, really powerful Garchomp in terms of damage coming kind of out of nowhere because, again, you can just evolve faster. It's definitely a really interesting card within the list because obviously you aren't playing that many grass Pokemon, but you are playing some, and you can pop in the Toedscool line as well if you want to counter like Gildango and stuff like that. So, yeah, Force of Vitality, very, very good here. And I think its best partner, I guess, is Hydrapple EX. I'm not a huge fan of Hydrapple because, I mean, let's be honest, in Standard... Oh, I thought it was going to have someplace. Yeah, it's kind of bad, right, in Standard, because it does damage based on grass energy attached to your Pokemon and accelerates some energy, but it's kind of like... I'd say its power level is similar to Teal Master Ogerpon EX, except it's a stage 2. So that's bad, right? Compared to a basic. But it is getting a lot better with a new set. Of course, the new stadium allowing you to evolve quicker is a really nice addition. On top of that, you do have the new Meganium, which doubles the grass energy attached to your Pokemon, based on basic grass energies. So if you have, 5 energies with Hydrapple, normally you'd be doing 150, or sorry, no, 180, but then if you have the Meganium, you'd be doing 330, which is enough to like one shot pretty much anything. That's really cool here. It is a little clunky, needing like a bunch of stage 2s, but again, you can get them evolved faster with Force of Vitality. I guess it's kind of like the same speed as normal. You could get them evolved as soon as turn 2 at the fastest, but the more important idea here is that if you get off to a rocky start or like a weird situation, you're not able to get down all the basics you want as quickly as you can, or your opponent, like knocks out your only Chikorita or like Applin on the bench with Dragapult or something like that, you can force the Vitality to quickly get back into the game. So it's really useful, not turn 1, but after that, it's a really, really nice card, specifically for these grass decks running a lot of different grass lines. And as I said, you could pop something in like Toedscruel or Toedscruel EX, or just a bunch of different options here. So overall, the new stadium's really cool for grass decks. Grass is not super strong, unfortunately, so that's why this card isn't seeing absurd amounts of play in Japan so far. I mean, it's by no means a bad card or performing badly, but we mostly see it in pretty mediocre decks. I do like Cynthia's a lot with the new additions, but obviously not a grass deck. But do keep this card in mind. If there's another grass card you want to play, then yeah, it will be getting better with a new set. Then we have Lightning Energy Acceleration here. We got Electric, accelerating Lightning Energy from the discard to your bench Pokemon. We also have Magneton here, which knocks itself out, accelerating, same thing, right? Basic Energy from your discard to your Lightning Pokemon. I guess Electric accelerates and Lightning Energy, Magneton accelerates to Lightning Pokemon, but they're pretty similar. Obviously, Magneton knocks itself out. I will say in this set, sorry, not in this set, but with this set, we are getting a new Psyduck. Psyduck is a card here that is going to stop Magneton. It's not played as a counter to Magneton specifically, but it does counter it. So, yeah, be wary of that. Magneton has been seeing some play with the new Mega Manectric here. Mega Manectric EX is a card I'm not going to dive too much into right now. Ultimately, though, it's a Pokemon that has some very solid attacks here. It's probably the most well-rounded Mega, in my opinion. It's not absurd, but it's pretty decent, and it's 3 energy here, right? So you need to get the energy on, and you can't use Joltik. I mean, you could use Joltik, I guess, but it's not great because you're just kind of throwing the grass energies away. But Electric here can get the energy on as well. Doesn't knock itself out, which is important for the Psyduck being played, and yeah, it's like pretty decent with Manectric, and I'd say getting a bunch better. Electric has seen some play in Standard, but not that much. Wait, yeah, some play. Most of these are because Limitless here counts as the same as the old one, which is technically wrong, I believe. But anyways, it's seen a little play. Magneton's also seen some play. And again, Magneton does have the sketchy aspect of being countered by the Psyduck, which will be played to counter Dusknoir. I didn't say what it counters, but it counters Dusknoir there. Then we have the next card here, which is Archaludon EX. Archaludon EX is like pretty decent in Standard right now, or it's okay, right? It's been pretty decent in Standard right now. Right now, it's kind of meh, but it accelerates energy to your metal Pokemon, and it also like does damage. It's not a crazy Pokemon, just like Mega Electric. It's pretty well-rounded, pretty safe, but not absurd either. Ultimately, though, it's getting a few new buffs from the new set. We do have the Stadium Dangerous Ruins, which does put damage on your Pokemon, which you can do stuff with Monkey Dory with. Not a huge fan of that, but that is something being played. Then Mega Mawile here is just like a decent, also pretty well-rounded Mega Pokemon here, doing pretty big damage for a basic Pokemon. It's not absurd, but it is pretty decent here as a one-of, which you can power up using the Archaludon EX. And then you also have, let's see, we have I don't know. There's an item here called, I want to see if I can just find it just flipping through lists. Maybe if I go older. No. Okay, well, there's a new item here called Iron Defender, which reduces the amount of damage you take. It's like Premium Power Pro, but it's defensive instead of aggressive, and it's pretty decent here. It's not an insane card because you don't have control over doing the damage. Your opponent has control over that. But Iron Defender is still a pretty decent card here that I would recommend. Keep an eye out for your favorite metal decks. Obviously, Goldengo is pretty good in Standard, but doesn't make as good use of this as the item, what's it called? Or as Archaludon does, because Archaludon's more aimed at being tanky, and also Archaludon is worse in standard, so getting buffs for this is more meaningful than Goldengo. But then we have the next card here, which is Alakazam EX. Alakazam EX does like damage from your bench. It's kind of weird, but the main reason that this is getting better here is because of the new Kadabra and also the single prize Alakazam, which should draw you cards when you play them, and the single prize Alakazam has a usable attack as well. Are these cards super good? No, 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 they're not. But you can use them, and they're kind of fun. Definitely a fun little deck here. And Alakazam EX is a nice little option within the deck as well. Also, I will mention, I guess Wonder Patch you can pair with it. Wonder Patch isn't even in the next set. It's in the set after that, Phantasmal Flames, I believe. But did want to mention that, I guess. But Alakazam EX getting better with the new Alakazam deck, single prize Alakazam and Kadabra especially. But ultimately, it's mostly like a tech option, which is kind of meh within the deck. I'm going to be completely honest, but I did want to include it because it is getting better. Then we have two last cards here. We have Chien-Pao EX and Palafin EX. I guess with Palafin EX, obviously it includes a single prize Palafin because you can't play Palafin EX without the single prizer. But these cards have been kind of meh. Chien-Pao EX has been like good when it came out, but certainly dropped off. And the Palafin EX has been pretty underwhelming, I'd say. I do believe that this card is okay. It's honestly kind of similar to Mega Kyurem DX in this build, but these two cards want switching, and they are water type. And there is one new card that helps these cards a bit here. And strangely enough, someone played these two cards together. I covered this in the video. Not really sure what's going on with this list here. But the new Stadium here, Surfing Beach, is super good for these cards, saying once during your turn, you can switch one of your active water Pokemon with one of your bench water Pokemon. Obviously, you need water Pokemon, like a bunch of water Pokemon, because you're switching water with water, which is a little awkward. You'd rather be switching water in or water out, but not having to do both. You could pair it with like some kind of like pretty decent pivot. But Chien-Pao EX can get extra energy search to then accelerate onto your board with Max Caliber using Surfing Beach, and then Palafin EX here. Use a switch to attack. We also need to switch to get into play using Palafin's Hero to Hero ability as well. So these cards are just really in need of switching, especially Palafin. It's better with Palafin than with Chien-Pao, in my opinion. And I do believe that Palafin could be decent with this new card. I really like Palafin, and I know that it has not been good, but I really, really do like it. I think it has some potential with the new set as well. But I hope you enjoy the video. Tell me down below in the comment section if there are any cards that you'd recommend for other people from this for the new set that are from older sets. But I hope you enjoyed. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell, all that good stuff. And as always, we said, see you in the next video.